TMDL is a game changer when it comes to Power BI. So if you've never heard of it before, stay tuned because you're not going to want to miss this one. All right, so TMDL is a new way you can actually look at your data within Power BI. So rather than going into Power Query and formatting things and clicking on the data type and changing the types, you can now just see everything in a more structured format, just like DAX view in a way, but TMDL is going to allow you to see all the data types and even all your measures in one location. And it's done by simple text. So if you're used to writing Python or SQL or something to that extent, this is going to help as well because it's going to allow you to basically see the same structure in that format as well. So enough with the talking. I'm going to show you exactly how you can go into settings, enable it, and then use TMDL yourself. All right, so once you get into Power BI, all we're going to do is click on File. We're going to click on Options and Settings. We're going to go to Options. And then once we get here, we're going to go to Preview Features. And then you're going to scroll down until you get to this PBIX save option. And right below it is going to be TMDL. So we're going to make sure that's enabled. And actually, I would just enable everything that's over here as well. And then we're going to press OK. We're actually going to restart Power BI if you haven't done it already. And then we'll go into TMDL and you actually see the icon pop up right here. So once we click on it now, you have resources where you can click on this, go to Microsoft and actually learn about it a little bit more in detail. But this basic prompt here will show you exactly what it's going to look like without actually ingesting something just yet. All you have to do really is go to model or go to tables, whichever one you want. And you could essentially take a measure, and we'll do that one first. And I'll just take males, for example, and I'll just drop it in here. All right, so once we drop our measure in, what we have here is the background architecture of what this measure actually is. So we have the create or replace function. We have the reference table that it lives in. We have the measure name of males. We have the total measure here broken out that we wrote on the front end, the format string, and then we have lineage tag. So lineage tag is a digital fingerprint that we have associated to each item within Power BI. So think of it as an object, right? So anything that you create has a tag to it so that I can associate it to whatever you made. And if you want to modify this, there's not going to be too much of an issue, right? I just want to call this males 2, for example. Click on apply. It's going to tell me that there's an error. So I click on show details, and then I have an invalid data type error. So to accommodate this, I can just close this real quick and go back here, put an underscore, make it within like PEP 8 standards, if you will, run it, and now we're good. Now, you don't technically need the lineage tag, to be quite honest, in Power BI. It's something that's just created, but there are instances where you might have to modify this, but we'll get into that later. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is going to be bringing in a table. We can bring in any table that we want here as well. So I'm just going to bring in branch, for example. And now you can see we have script 2 here. So it brings in the entire table that we have. So rather than looking in Power Query now, we can see the entire table broken out in this aspect. So we have create or replace once again, because we created a table, right? We have the table itself. We have the lineage tag tied to the table. And then we have the lineage tag tied to each item within the table, so each column. And then within the columns, we have the data types. We have, if it's summarized by anything, the source column as well. If there is a source column, there isn't for any of these because I didn't really make too many changes, but it would identify that too. And then you have the column name as well. And then any sort of annotation that you have here too. And then we could scroll down as well and we could determine the other data types. We have strings as well. We have the category of the data type. We have the region as well. We have any of our modifications here as well. So we have branch. So what did I do to branch in particular? So it breaks out that as well. So what you can do here, rather than going into Power Query, is go into data type, and you could simply just change this if you want. So rather than a string, I just want to put a integer, and I would just want to say, rather than it being a branch ID, and then we're going to preview that, and it's going to say there's an error, right? So type mismatch. So you're going to be able to see the errors real time as you're kind of maneuvering through this and making changes. So it's really preference based on how you want to utilize TMDL. So do you want to see it in this format or do you want to see it within Power Query? So I'm going to revert this back to what it was, which is going to be a string. Preview that. And there are no differences to display. So you can apply it if you want. Changes are now made to the model. And then once you're done with that, you can also see a green check mark telling you that it's good, and then the red X telling you, there's some errors that you might have to look at as well. So TMDL makes your model readable, editable, and easy to understand. You can also use this and push things to Git. You can look at things in VS Code as well, and we'll talk about that in the future too. But now you can really reuse tables, look at measures faster rather than clicking on each one independently, and just be more efficient. And I think that was the entire design behind TMDL, is to let you look at it from a software engineering perspective more than a data analyst perspective. All right, so the last one I'm going to do to show you is what if I want to drag all my measures into one place, right? Rather than doing one by one. I'll just grab this entire table here, and now I can see every single measure that I have. So I can work on everything. So let's just say I wanted to highlight something now, right? And I want to see where everything sits. If I wanted to just click on personnel, I can just click on it and I can see every single time the word personnel is utilized. All right, it's not utilized too much down here, but it allows you to see where everything is. So just to close, TMDL makes your model more readable, efficient, and allows you to see things from a software engineering perspective rather than a data analyst perspective. And I think that's valuable because now you can actually be more efficient as well. Because oftentimes as data analysts, you kind of delve into the world of software engineering too. And you need to understand and know the dynamic that they operate in, because everything that's happening there on that side translates to what you're doing with the data as well. So this is that unique hybrid that you're now able to do. Quick intro on what TMDL is and how it can benefit you. The next one I'm going to talk about is the pros and cons of TMDL in full, so you can have a better understanding of it and then utilize it within your workspace if you elect to. With that said, thanks for watching.